morning and thank you for being with CFI as we connect the dots with Dr. Food on what is a beautiful fall morning in Chicago in October. Welcome to fall and welcome to the month of our CFI Transparency Summit. And I'll give you a little plug for that at the end. As always, I'm Mickey French. I'm the Executive Director of the Center for Food Integrity. The center is a not-for-profit organization that's focused on building trust in the food system. So please visit us at foodintegrity.org if you'd like to learn more about member benefits, etc. So our whole purpose is to help today's food system build trust. And we do that by tapping into experts to help us identify trends that are happening within the food system and across the globe. And our best and favorite global expert is Dr. David Hughes. He's based in Wales, but we rarely catch him there. He's lived across the world and has decades of experience in the food and drink industry. And I believe when we spoke, you said that you are giving 10 talks in a 6-week period across 3 continents and 6 countries. I'm tired just reading that sentence. So David, welcome.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, I'm in the middle of actually in some godforsaken hotel this evening for an after dinner talk to food people, and then I'm off to Asia in Thailand, and then 2 weeks in Australia, back through Vietnam to home to Long Suffering Susan, and then it's Paris for an international meat event. So, but it's what I do and I enjoy it.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I want to be you when I grow up. So today we're taping this segment so that we can manage all of our travel and time. So we won't be able to take any questions, but as always, please feel free to reach out to me if you have questions through the website, and we'll connect on any answers and information that you need. So today's topics cover a variety of actions that are impacting the British food chain and give us food for thought on this side of the pond. So let's jump right in. The first topic relates to food moving in and out of the UK. It took years to get to Brexit and make it a reality. And now 4 years after leaving the EU, there are some continuing challenges that UK food importers and exporters are facing. So David, share with us some of what's happening over there.
Right, lots of challenges. I mean, we know it's very close to us, but it was back in January 2020 when the UK exited the EU. It wasn't my favorable decision, and problematic in that young people wanted to stay in, felt more European. Old people wanted to exit, and of course, old people won't be around to just carry the consequences of that. And the key promise of Brexiting was freedom from bureaucracy of the European Union. But new research shows that there's been a huge negative impact on agri-food trade, both exports from the UK to the EU and imports of EU stuff into our own country. So UK agri-food exports to Europe are down 27%, and imports from the EU are down 32%. And that's a really big deal. Why? Because we're so close to the European countries. They're our biggest trading partners, and yet we're harming each other. So what happened? With Brexit, there was an introduction of much more severe barriers to trade, making bureaucracy even worse, for goodness sake. The additional costs related to border checks for food moving in and out, because they used to move freely. And now it's so time wasting, for goodness sake. It takes days, and the costs are borne by importers and exporters, but of course also by consumers, millions of dollars. And it really hurts small UK exporters. Mm-hmm. As they haven't got sufficient volumes to have entire trucks, so they've got part trucks, and then every customer has to be looked at, so it just slows the whole business down. I mean, the UK government's trying to do something about it, initiate agreements for easier access, but our friends, to a degree they're our friends, but still they're resisting. They haven't forgiven us yet, and it's particularly cumbersome actually on sanitary and phytosanitary issues, and they relate in particular, I think, to meat and dairy, and they happen to be the 2 biggest export items, those two areas, both coming into this country and going back to the EU. And it's hurt the fruit and vegetable trade. And we're huge importers of fruit and vegetables from Europe. Like 90% of our total fruit that we consume comes from outside the UK. And that's driving costs up at a time when we want people to eat more fruit. No, it's not a good deal. And the research study authors, needless to say that we need to take urgent policy action. Our place in the world will weaken. Look, we're just one little country. We were one little country in a bigger European Union. But in this big world, our influence is dwindling. And I'm just hope that common sense will come to terms. And actually, a lot of the answer relates to, here it is, AI, so artificial intelligence and automation and digitization. And let's hope that will prevail over time as the wounds heal. Fingers crossed. Once again, the much lauded artificial intelligence may give us some recovery. We'll see.
Yeah, let's hope so. It sounds like a number of conflicting opportunities and challenges in the UK that just really are not working together. So we're all watching you. Our second topic relates to healthier diets and the way that the UK government is trying to encourage better eating. And I find this super interesting as an American. We've talked a bit about advertising bans in the past for junk food, and literally it's being labeled junk food. It sounds like they're becoming a reality now in 2025. So tell us what's happening and how the food chain is responding and how, that might be a warning for us over here.
Right. Yes. Well, the regulation, its time has come, as you say. It's will be introduced in 2025. It's a complete ban pre 9 p.m. in the evening on any ads on TV for junk food, however you might define that. And also it's a full-time ban for any paid promotional ads on social media, again, for junk food. What's it all about? Well, the previous government and the new government are most concerned about the health of the nation, not least health of children. Because in the UK, 1 in 5 kids in the UK are overweight or obese as 5-year-olds. I mean, that's not good in itself. So that's before starting what we call primary school and you call kindergarten. But what's worse is that 1 in 3 will be overweight by the time they exit school, by the time they finish high school. And so the bans are aimed specifically at manufacturers, as we say, HFS, high fat and salt products, high fat, salt and sugar products. And the ad ban covers just about all the good ones. It's soft drinks, snacks, savory snacks, chocolate, ice cream, cereals, pizza, processed potatoes. I mean, it's the works. And how's it based? Well, in the UK, all foods are given a score measured by our Department of Health's nutrient profiling model. So what's that about? Actually, it's about 12 years old. The products, so your product gets points for good stuff in it, like fiber, fruit and veg, etc. And it gets demerits for the amount of sugar, fat and salt that's in it. The manufacturers report their ingredient lists and governments give them a score. And if you get above a certain score, then oops, you're HFSS and you're right in their target. I mean, the reaction from a food company point of view is that, first and foremost, I think all of them are thinking product reformulation, which is not bad in itself. But also their R&D now is much more oriented towards healthier food products. And there's a shift in advertising strategy to much healthier products. And they hope to partner, for example, with health organizations that will support them in their initiatives. Actually, I see this as a global trend. It's not just in the UK. There are similar measures, similar programs in place right now in Spain, Portugal, and it's being considered for Australia, where I'm going next, by the by.
Yeah, these definitely can have an impact on this side of the pond. So your list is a list of many Americans' favorite foods. So
Exactly.
we'll keep an eye on that for sure. Especially in conjunction with our multinational food producers who have to come up now with a product strategy to fit all of these different regulatory environments. So, um, our third topic today also relates to the grocery store aisle and those loyalty cards that we all carry on our keychains or in our wallets or in our phones to get the best deals. What is your leading grocery store chain doing with that information they collect, and how do people feel about their watching us?
Right. Yeah. This is intriguing for me. I mean, governments, consumers, but the food chain itself is focused on healthier eating, or they should be, and it's for good reason. Remember, in the UK, we have a national health system providing free healthcare at the point of delivery, and that costs us 250 billion dollars a year. So having healthier citizens is better for all, not least the taxpayer, I might tell you. So the government has called on supermarkets, specifically supermarkets, to increase their activity, improving national health. And Tesco came straight back and got all the headlines. Tesco is our number one grocery supermarket chain, a bit like your Walmart. It's got a 30% market share. And Tesco's CEO announced that Tesco, are ready and willing right now to use loyalty card data, again using artificial intelligence, to nudge shoppers to more healthier food diets. So this is no small move in the UK, because if you shop in Tesco, as I do, then you've got a Tesco Club card. You must, because it gives you such good deals. And that's 20 million households in the UK, a third of the nation. And so what will they do with the data? They'll use the data to warn shoppers when they see that we're buying too many unhealthy items. So an example, Tesco could say, we noticed looking at your shopping basket contents that you are buying too many high sodium products. That's 250% above what the Department of Health would suggest. We recommend that you substitute X and Y to improve your health. And they can also use the same AI to provide Club Card members with information on better value. I rather like this, actually. So they can tell shoppers, we note you're trying to book 4 times for these particular products. Well, actually, next week, they're on sale. So why don't you hold back on your purchase this week, and you'll get a bit better deal next week. So it's a combination there. It's to save us money and to save our health. So what's been the reaction? Well, there was a roar of applause from health campaigners, but outrage from those who are focused on privacy. So, for example, we've got a group, I bet you've got the same one in the US, called Big Brother Watch. And they're just disgusted that Tesco wants to use, as they say, our data to tell us how we live our lives. And they indicate that it's real evidence that loyalty cards are based on mass surveillance of customers. I mean, actually, I personally don't mind the idea. I mean, they're not going to sell it to the Chinese unless the Chinese have already got it, mind you. And if they're using it in my interests, then so be it. And additionally, I might say that Tesco's been so busy this week, or this last month. They sponsored research by a very well thought of think tank in the UK on what's happened to our, in quotes, lost workforce. And they found out that 14% of the population of the working population aren't in a job. But a fair proportion of them would like to join the workforce. I mean, 2 million are already looking, but there are 4 million who think, we want to work, but we don't know if we've got the capacity to do that. We're not good at this, that, and Tesco has said, look, we're offering free career clinics. We'll teach you how to do CVs and to attend interviews and to make the best of yourselves. And what's more, they're saying, if you attend our career clinics, we'll guarantee you an interview for our seasonal holiday work. And they add about another 50,000 people over the Christmas period. So it's a little self-serving, but since COVID in the UK, I bet it's the same in the US and bigger. Close to 1 million people have just sort of evaporated from the job market. It's been the fastest decline in our labor market in over 50 years. And frankly, we need that labor. So let's hope all this works.
Yep. Similar challenges over here. I think a lot of that the use of AI as well as the retail across the board, restaurants and retail workers and those challenges. I think that's a really interesting win-win solution that Tesco has come up with. So we have a few minutes left for a final tidbit, and this one sounds super fun to me. So tell me a little bit about farming hospitality.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Farmers are into hospitality, my lord. So British farmers, they're trying to lure the Instagram crowd as more and more farmers, both big and small scale ones, are diving into the hospitality business. In the UK, actually, 7 out of 10 farmers pursue non-farming businesses besides their farming businesses. And a lot of them relate to hospitalities, activities like ice baths, yoga in the barn, fitness boot camps, glamping. Everybody likes glamping, cafe in the cowshed. And I love the farm themed messy play for kids where your kids can get covered in mud, but be safe. Now, recall, in the UK, our farmers are close. We're so small here, but we're close to urban areas. So they have access to consumers. Our farm's way out there in Kansas. And they're using social media to capitalize on consumer shifts towards wellness and sustainability and concerns for the rural environment. And they need that money because when we Brexited, going back to the Brexit, UK government told farmers they would remove the direct financial subsidy that every EU farmer gets, and they still get in the EU. And they say, we're going to take that subsidy, we'll give it back to you if you do good green things on your farm, good environmental things. And farmers said, well, right, but those environmental actions have a cost. We much preferred it when you just sent us a check, for goodness sake. And to be honest, our Department of Ag estimates that just over 40% of all the farm businesses in the UK are unprofitable without this subsidy. Mind you, most of those are the tiny farms. And in our system, there is a disproportionate number of very small farms who are just barely into farming, and they need more money. So they need to be into non-farming businesses. I've talked to farmers about it, big and small, actually, and said, so how do you like it? How do you like being in the hospitality business? And they grimace, actually, and say, hospitality, it's as hard as farming. It's lots of work and long hours, dear Lord. There we go. I wish him well.
Absolutely. Well, I would love to come participate. I grew up with a grandfather who had a farm right near our house. So getting in the mud and the creeks and chasing the cows around the back pasture were great fun growing up. I think every kid should get to do that. So that's all we have time for today, team. So thank you for joining us as we connect the dots with Dr. Food. We'll be back November 7th for our next opportunity to connect the dots across the food chain. It's not too late to register for the summit in Chicago. We have a lot of interactive opportunities for folks to learn more about putting transparency into action. This is a step further than we went last year. So go to foodintegrity.org, and right at the top of the screen, there's a button about the summit. So we hope you can join us October 22nd through 24th. By the time I see you next time, we will be through the summit and you will be somewhere around the world, David. So everyone have a wonderful day and a wonderful month, and we'll see you.
Right, yeah. November beckons, Mickey. Yes.
Yes, I know.
Onwards.
All right, lovely. Safe
Bye.
travels, my friend. Take care.